And I think what's happening is that the CLOUT era, and I had that conversation with Yachty, and I would love to have it with you, is like that it's over. Yeah. And I think it was over kind of when 6ix9ine went to jail, or like around when X died. But that was when it died, when it was over. Some people might continue to when Juice WRLD passed away, but that shit ended before 2020. And those artists, the music don't hit no more. The gimmicks don't fly no more. They're not funny. It's just, I've never seen an era just be like, it's not even a ushering out period. It's just, that shit's just corny. You can't imagine anybody doing what Pump was doing and what all these guys who got super viral were doing then, doing that shit now, and it working. The Boog era, that shit is a dub.
There's a vibe shift, dude, because it's like, not only is Pump not going to be able to go viral from like all the stupid shit he used to be doing, pouring lean down his throat, throwing a Gucci shirt out the window, whatever the fuck he was doing, but you couldn't really imagine anyone blowing up with that. Like, the public consciousness just evolves and people start to want more from the people that they fuck with. Sometimes I feel like in rap though, we're almost like between eras, because I see
what era you think we in?
I don't know, because I feel like there's so few popping artists coming out that the only one, the street era for sure, but sometimes I feel like even that is kind of like towards the latter tail of it, because so many of those dudes are locked up and shit.
Right, well, see, we're gonna get out of it when they all get locked up.
You know,
like, but you gotta think about it. Like Dirk, shit, it was King Von was in there.
For sure, it's the real gangster era right now, for sure. But it just feels like that, like, has its back against the wall in some ways too, man. Which
I think that always comes about. I think there's a new era that's gonna be birthed kind of shortly, and that era is gonna include the youth. And it's either going to be, I don't think it's going to be some new drill shit out of New York, because I think they're all getting locked up too.
And that shit is just so stale already.
And this is where Yeet comes in. Yeah. And I keep having that conversation to say, there's always a non-street faction or a non-street part of hip hop that the kids are into and that the kids are going to gravitate towards, just like how they gravitated going into 2015, 2016 with Uzi and Yachty and all those people. What's that era gonna look like? What's the music? And the closest I've seen is Yeet. I just don't see a bunch of follow-up to him. Some people have said, what's that guy named? Autumn?
Yeah, there's that whole new like SoundCloud wave that everybody's trying to push down your throat and tell you like SoundCloud is back. But then realistically, it's like not many of those artists are really doing that crazy of numbers.
Yo, I can't name a Yeet song.
I kind of fuck with the Yeet thing,
but I can't name a song, bro.
It's not really like sticking with me. Like we were listening to it for a couple weeks, and I noticed that even the people in the audience who were listening to him kind of just stopped listening to him.
Yachty said his show was like you go there and it's like 13-year-olds.
Yeah,
it's like the TikTok crowd.
They're saying his monthly listeners are already going down and shit. So really? I don't know how.
So what the fuck are we doing in music then? Like what era is it now? Like I think,
but we're lucky because we get to adapt.
Well, we're lucky that we got to adapt.
We're lucky that we've adapted so far.
We're lucky that we adapt, because imagine if you were still on that wave. And I've also thought about this. You ever thought about the chicken or the egg effect? For example, like some people might say, well, we didn't give a fuck about Chicago new drill rappers as much as when you stopped doing the war in Chirac. And I also felt that, not only did I stop to grow, but I stopped feeling like that era was going to happen. So it's like, somebody might look at you and be like, Adam, well, part of the reason why SoundCloud rappers died is because your platform started focusing on it. Do you think that's what it is? Or do you think that, no, it's just, you're following the change that eventually was going to happen?
Because I had, like, all those years I was in the store, I really had my ear to the ground in the sense that, like, these rappers were just literally coming in all the time. And I like saw how it just kind of slowed up. And I saw how the public interest too just kind of took a nosedive. And I feel like the 6ix9ine getting locked up, I feel like 6ix9ine almost like ended SoundCloud in general, because he took the aesthetic and some of the visual elements and just took it to the extreme where, like, it's kind of easy to forget this, but it was a little bit tough to be Lil Pump at the moment where 6ix9ine was on top of the world, because it's like, you're Lil Pump and yes, you do drugs and you have a lot of cool clothes and your music's all right, but like 6ix9ine's like in real beef, running around with real gangsters, his music's going crazier.
Yeah.
6ix9ine kind of like made the attention on a lot of people a lot less, and then all of a sudden 6ix9ine goes away and the attention already was like kind of diminishing. But I mean, really, what
sucked the life out of that whole movement
Yeah.
because he went to that almost top 5 status when he had the Fifi song going, he had the Spanish song going. It felt like, oh shit, these little fringe guys could actually be mainstream. And then he gets locked up, and then people are already taking away attention from the other dudes, and now he's gone. So it's like,
But the crazy thing about it is that we'll never get to see or know if and how 6ix9ine would have fell off organically if it wasn't, because and I would give him a better chance of having survived and still being popular if it wasn't for the case. Just because I think he's a lot smarter than a lot of the average SoundCloud rappers. Like, I feel like his ability to adapt would have been better than a lot of them. But I mean, almost all of them fell off at a certain point. Like, we'll never get to know if X would have fallen off. You know? I don't think so. But we'll never get to know maybe Juice WRLD. Like we never got to see a 50-year-old Tupac. So we never got to know what Tupac's career later on would have been like.
Well, we're seeing OGs now. Like, yo, Cardi's an OG.
Yeah.
Yo, Cardi got so many kids. Some people would say that Yeet is like one of the people that fall under the Cardi tree.
Because even though I never technically interviewed Cardi, like he came out at the same time I came out. Like, he was an underground rapper in 2016. He came through the store a couple of times, and like very much like now, like the same way I was just saying that people will like give me the legend card now that I wasn't really expecting. Like, Cardi's been around long enough that people, they're looking at him like an OG because, like, how did you survive this long? But a lot of people have fallen off, bro. Like, you see Post Malone, they're talking about his album and saying it sold like shit and the reviews are horrible. That kind of blew my mind. Like, damn, like a lot of people's spots are not solidified.
Yo, I knew Cardi I knew Cardi was an OG when Cardi hit me up and be like, yo, Ak. It's like, yo, I know you have your reasons and I know how you get down, but please, could you chill up off Young Bands? Because he's working with me and like he's like my little bro and I'm bringing him along. And I was like, what? I was like, wait, you're the OG for Young Bands? Well, that shit was crazy to me. But back to the Post Malone shit.